Welcome to learning how you can create an ebook that generates leads for your business. That is, we're talking about how you can create a lead magnet. But what is a lead magnet? Effectively, it's a free item or service with the purpose of gathering contact details for the ultimate purpose of creating a sale or a sales lead. Now, if you're in the process of trying to build your email list, then this is going to be perfect for you. So in today's session, I'm going to take you through how I created this particular ebook about a beginner's guide to a whole food, plant-based diet, which I developed for my wife's business around health and food. This is what it looks like overall. So as you can see, there's several sections, about 11 pages long. There's lots of lifestyle-related images. There's infographic content. There's frequently asked questions and bonus material as well. Now, if you're interested in seeing what this ebook looks like in more detail, let me know and I'd be happy to share the link with you. So let's go through the tools that I used to generate this ebook. First of all, Google is going to be your friend for everything research related. Google Docs was really useful for online access and collaboration. For my purpose, I was collaborating with my wife, so I was able to share the document with her and she was able to make edits straight away. Grammarly.com, a useful tool that I use every day for on-the-fly spelling and grammar checking. Pages, which is effectively Apple's version of Microsoft Word. It doesn't matter what you use, but for my purpose, I use Pages because I prefer the templates that are inbuilt within the program. Now for images, I use Unsplash, Pexels, and freepik.com for royalty-free images, vectors, videos, and icons. And for website and landing page software, I use Weebly.com, which is a super user-friendly website builder, and Power.com, which is a website pop-up builder, which is an application into Weebly. Before we get started on the ebook creation, we need to really think about the flow. What is the user experience going to be? Now, in my case, I was actually creating this ebook for promotion on Instagram. So having a link on the Instagram profile, which would direct people to a website, which would have a pop-up appear. That pop-up would have a form asking for people's email address. After that person actually entered their email address and clicked submit, they would be directed to a thank you page where they would see a summary of the ebook itself, a direct link to that ebook, and follow-on links to blogs or other pages on the website. As that person filled out that form and submitted it, an automatic email would be triggered to that recipient with another direct link to the download page for them to consume that ebook. So the benefit of this whole process is that now that I have collected their email address, I'm now able to continue emailing them other offers, other specials, blog content, etc., and keep them engaged and hopefully sell them a product in the future. Step one is about research. Now, you really need to think about what content you want to create an ebook about. You might already be an expert in your field, which is fine, so you have a good understanding of what type of content to create. But if not, get a general feel for the type of topic that you think would be valuable for your reader or for your prospective customers. In my case, it was a beginner's guide to a whole food, health-based, plant-based diet, which was useful for any sort of vegan-related consumer, people who are looking for a diet change and didn't have the necessary information at hand for them to understand what that type of diet contained. So it was really valuable for those particular people. Step two is about outlining your ebook structure. Now, this is going to be a process in which you need to think about some key titles, so headlines of your ebook that you think would resonate with your audience. Maybe list down a series of maybe 5 to 10 different headlines, and they are going to effectively become. Now let's talk through step one, which is all about research. Now, part one is going to be understanding what content you want to create an ebook about. You might already be an expert in your field, which is great, but if you're not, it's really important to actually think about what type of information would be valuable for your consumer. The next step is really to outline your ebook structure. So this is going to be about thinking through, say, 5 to 10 different headlines of topics that you think would be really valuable and to your reader, and actually give them enough information to understand the overall topic of your ebook. So I would really recommend writing down 5 to 10 different headlines there, because that's going to be important for the next step. So be or become the expert. If you already are an expert in the field, it's going to be pretty easy for you to come up with these headlines. But if you're not, then that's where you're going to have to use Google and research the topic to actually identify some key topics of interest. As I mentioned, jump onto Google, read, say, the first 3 to 5 different articles that pop up, depending on the title that you come up with, and then copy and paste certain parts of those articles that you find are most interesting and of most value to include in your ebook. And don't worry about the plagiarizing factor here, because we'll fix that in the next round. So repeat this process until it's complete. Now, this is an example of what my Google Doc looks like for my ebook. Now, what I did actually use these headlines, what you'll learn in this ebook: what is a whole foods plant-based diet? What are the health benefits of following a whole food plant-based diet, and so on. And these are going to be the topics that I actually Google, using Google to find relevant articles for. So let's use this as an example. I'll go into Google. I've typed in, what are the health benefits of following a whole food plant-based diet? I've looked through, okay, I'm going to check out the first article here and read through this article, and then I'm going to say, okay, you know what, this piece of information is going to be really useful. So I'll copy that, go back to my document under that headline, and paste it in. Now I'm going to basically just repeat this process until I'm completely done, until basically my whole ebook's filled with other people's content, which you are now going to turn into your own. Step 2 is about writing and rewriting your content. So now that you have all of your content pasted into your ebook document, it's about rewriting or paraphrasing the content that you've pasted in there. So this is going to take a bit of practice getting used to, but it's really important that that when you read through each paragraph that you've pasted in there, just really try to write it in your own words. And if you need to reference anything that you have actually pasted there, make sure that you actually capture the attribution of what and the reference of that information, and link back to the original article that you found it. Part 2 is about considering the engagement of your reader throughout this whole process. So some of the things that could be useful here is throughout your rewriting and paraphrasing process is utilizing bullet points to get your message across, using the visual graphs and simple tables of data, and also making sure that your paragraphs are very succinct so your message gets across very quickly and very simply. So once you've done all of that, give yourself enough time to actually fulfill all of those pieces within the ebook. And at the end of it, you're going to have a really solid draft of your first ebook here, which you should really be proud of. Step 3 is about designing your ebook. This step is about opening your word processor application. So if you're already using Pages or Word, for example, and you want to continue designing your ebook with that, by all means continue using that. But otherwise, jump into the word processor of choice, and then select a predefined template, or you can start from scratch, whatever you choose. Next is about copying and pasting your content onto the pages of that template. The things to keep in mind here is that take particular interest in how much space each section takes on the page. If you have large empty spaces on the page after pasting content, then you can potentially use this space for images to make your ebook look even more visually appealing and engaging. Step 4 here is about spacing out each main title and section on its own page. It's really useful that every headline or every start of a section has its own page. It allows it very easy to reference from the content section of the ebook, and also helps you design the flow better. It makes it easier to read, easier to engage with. It gives you a bit more space between sections that you can use images for, and so on. And lastly, now it's time to actually consider what images you might want to include that will complement your content. So now head over to unsplash.com, Pexels, or freepik.com to start searching for the images in your ebook. Now, so a good tip here is to actually pick one word that would summarize the key point you're trying to make on each page of your ebook, and then search for images related to that. A good example here is within my ebook, which is around health food, that I would have one page about a shopping list of different health foods, and a good image that would relate to that shopping list would be a picture of a supermarket shelf that had a range of different products. It shows that there's an alignment between the imagery and the content. And that's basically what you're trying to go for. Make sure that whatever image or quote that you actually reference in is correctly attributed. So whenever you're downloading an image from Unsplash, for example, make sure you take note of the URL that you've actually collected it from. And then at the back of your ebook, just have a small footnote or reference section that says images were sourced from unsplash.com, and you can include a direct link to the images that you've used there. And then lastly, you have to really think about what else can you offer? So what is the logical next step for your reader to take? Is it about setting up a call with you, or is it about downloading another piece of content? Is it about providing a bit more information? Is it about selling a product or service? Really think about what your next step is here. And in my case, for the ebook, we actually created an online course about how to create vegan or healthy cakes. So on the last page of the ebook, I included a bonus offer, a direct link to that online course with a discount code that is specific for that ebook, add an incentive for the reader to continue engaging with us and to pay for this particular course. Now you're finished with your ebook. Even though I've summarized a lot of the steps here, congratulations on completing your ebook. So now you export the document into a PDF format. All right, so let's go through some pro tips. So firstly, I use a service called switchy.io. It's basically a short linking service that allows me to track certain links that I've included around the web, but it's particularly useful for things like ebooks, where I can embed trackable links and actually have a clear view of when someone clicks those links in the ebook. I can see where they came from and where they're going. The other benefit of Switchy is that it also allows you to drop a tracking pixel, such as the Facebook pixel, onto the browser. And this is really beneficial, so you can retarget people on Facebook or on another social platform with other offers or other content, getting them back to your site. Pro tip number 2 is to use hrefshare.com. So if your ebook contains insightful information like key statistic, tips, quotes, authority figures, testimonials, for example, you can use these to prompt readers to share it on social media. So jump over to hrefshare.com and you can create a pre-populated link for Twitter, Facebook, or LinkedIn, and then tag this link within Switchy if you use it, and then hyperlink that into your document. Now here's an example of what hrefshare looks like in action. So on the left-hand side here, you can see the content within an ebook. You can see there's a statistic, and in the circled area says click to tweet. It's just a graphic that I've added to the ebook here, and there's actually a hyperlink behind that image. So what happens when someone clicks on that particular click to tweet button, it'll direct them directly to Twitter. For this example, it'll pre-populate the message of that statistic. You can add any specific hashtags or @mention, including a link back to your original ebook. So this is really useful, a way of actually pushing your readers to engage with your content in a more social manner, and enables you to actually see how much impact those social links have actually had on your lead generation success. So, all right, so pro tip number 3 is to repurpose your ebook into more than 7 pieces of content. How can you do that, I hear you ask? Well, if you are interested in understanding how that can be done, let me know, and I'll do another video about all of the different ways to leverage your ebook content into more than 7 other pieces. The next step is really about setting up your lead magnet flow. Now, in this section, I won't go through in detail how you can actually do this, but if you're interested in understanding how to connect all of those pieces, from Instagram to your website, to a pop-up, to email automation, and to thank you pages, let me know and I'll run a specific video on that particular topic. Thank you for watching my video on how you can create an ebook that generates leads for your business. I hope you really enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel for more content.